So what was going on when you reached out? What were you dealing with when you booked your call?
Okay. When I reached out, I was working with a client that just had a more complex setup than what I was used to. I'm a new bookkeeper, although I do have a lot of experience in accounting. But in this situation, I had tried on my own for a good amount of time, and I was just frustrated. I felt like I couldn't confidently get to the right answer, and I just needed to support. And no matter what I did to try to get the answer on my own, looking through, YouTube videos or whatever I found online, I needed support from someone who really had experience in this field and had, so after doing the bookkeeping course, I knew exactly who to reach out to, and I booked a call. So
nice. So a question that like Google, YouTube, all those resources couldn't quite fill the void.
They couldn't fill, and in fact, when I tried to replicate what I was being told, even you have tools with AI, I was going the opposite direction. I felt like I was getting more frustrated and more confused with the resources that were out there online.
Like overcomplicating it, or like
overcomplicating it. Yeah.
Next one is, what was it like working through the problem on the call together?
It honestly felt like such a relief. Not only were we approaching year end, and I felt like there was a time crunch anyways for me to get to the right answer. It felt like it felt collaborative. It wasn't intimidating. I wasn't just being told what to do. I wasn't just being taught. We really talked through the why, the different options, the pros and cons of various approaches. We could go super into the detailed reporting. We could go more high level. We worked together to see what was the best approach for the client specifically. And it felt like it was something that I could actually just do in real life. And it wasn't just all these theories as to how to do it. We opened up my actual, the data. We went through the first month together. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear though, because actually like there's so much you could do for things sometimes. And it's just like, okay, what's the real problem? Like, why are we overcomplicating it? So
right.
I'm so glad for that. Feeling approachable, I feel like in accounting is something that like some people just, you can tell they're probably smart, but they're very unapproachable. So
and I can talk to that too, because they don't know how to explain things in just real terms. Because even me, like, I have an accounting background, but I was like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? And yeah, it felt like I was sitting talking to someone who could just get on my level, and that was really refreshing. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Was there a moment when something clicked or started to feel like it made sense?
Yes, definitely. I think so. We had our meeting. We actually had a first meeting, and then I scheduled several follow-ups because more questions came up, and I just really wanted to get a handle on a process that I could replicate going forward. And it wasn't just the one-on-one time. You went above and beyond to email me follow-ups after, describe what we did, why we did it, where it would show up on the reports. So really we reframed how revenue should be recorded and how it should all align. And we looked at where it was falling on the balance sheet, the P&L, and how it would operate on a monthly basis for my bookkeeping and what the client would be seeing. So once that all clicked, it stopped feeling so messy. It started feeling very clean and repeatable. And of course, there's things that could come up that are variants in the month to month, but it felt like I could work through those, and it was manageable.
Nice. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, you kind of answered this, but do you feel like you could handle this on your own now if it came up again, or if you got a new client that had like a similar situation?
Yes, I feel really confident now. And I actually I just gained another client
really?
Long story short, it was regarding POS system data, and I gained another client, and I felt confident. I asked the right questions before taking this client on. I felt like, I could quote them appropriately because I knew what I was handling. I felt like I could explain to them before I even started bookkeeping, you know, how do we want the reports to look? What kind of detail do we want to get into? So yeah, the confidence alone from this experience is huge. And I think as a new bookkeeper and somebody who's trying to grow her business, that's the only way you're going to get this confidence, is to take on clients that are, you know, different, and you're going to run into various scenarios. And so to know that I have someone that I can go to for support, not only in the technical aspects, but just processes, how to set things up, was really, really relieving. And I feel like now I can say yes to any client, knowing that I have support, basically.
Nice. Oh, I love that. Yeah. And I think what you're saying is really true. And I see a lot of people kind of at the start getting stuck with it, where it's almost like they want to preemptively learn all these things. And it's really hard for me to explain to them exactly what you're saying, which is like, there's no way for you to learn this without doing it, but there's no way to do it without getting, you know, it's like this weird chicken egg thing.
And it's this balance between, I mean, you can stay in learning training mode forever. But you have to put yourself out there. You have to confidently gain clients, but you can't just be doing bookkeeping with guessing. You can't be like, well, I think this is the way I should do this. So you do need that extra level of support. And I'd say, you know, it is 100% worth the investment. It will pay you back. Like, I just thought about that. I was like, well, now I have a new client that paid for whatever investment, you know, I put into this coaching. And if I hadn't had that confidence, I wouldn't have just said yes right away. I would have said, oh, maybe I'm not ready yet, or maybe I need, you know, more time. So yeah.
Nice. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Who do you think this would be helpful for? What type of person, you kind of answered this, but like the common call, coach call would be helpful for?
I think this is incredibly helpful for both new and experienced bookkeepers who are just growing, like working through different complex situations. Also bookkeepers who are looking to, I guess, maybe you've been doing the same thing, but you're looking to expand, or you're just looking to maybe automate, or just figure out different ways to have your processes, because you can have a bookkeeping company where you're just spending too much time doing things that maybe don't matter to the client, and you just don't know another way to look at it. And I think having somebody who's, you know, done things a different way, who's looked at a lot of different clients, to come look at processes and just help. So my situation was a very specific, I need to get through this for year-end reporting. I need, you know, but I already know I'm booking more sessions to just make sure that in starting this business, and there's people out there that can help you, that I'm doing things, you know, I don't have to start from square one. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's support out there. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I'm so excited to get that. Okay. And then this one's kind of silly, but would you recommend this to other bookkeepers?
100%. Yeah. Having support like this feels like a safety net. Like, you know, it saves time, it reduces stress, and makes you a better bookkeeper, because like I said, you can try to reinvent the wheel yourself, but there's support out there. So yes, I definitely would recommend it to anyone.
Yay, that's so great to hear. And yeah, you're so right. It's like, I think for us too, is just like, there's so many ways people could use this, and I sometimes have a hard time like explaining that. So that that situation is just such a perfect example. And same thing, like even I was talking to someone yesterday just to learn more about where people are kind of at. And it was just like so clear that her systems are just holding her back so much. I was like, bro, if we just did one call together and we set this up, like you could probably double your clients. But like,
yeah.
And it's like, okay, yeah.
And sometimes you feel like you're just stuck in this, like, I've got to figure this out, but it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that's something that I'm learning. Like, you know, I came into this being like, well, I have a lot of corporate experience. I know I can figure things out. I've had to do it in my job. But your time is worth something. And for you to spend, like, I'd already spent maybe 10 hours on my own trying to get an understanding of what was happening with the data. And, you know, that's time that I could have spent building my business, trying to find new clients, you know. So I just think that when you look at things that way and you really try to set yourself up, well, I think from the beginning, but also as you're going, what can I do better? Where can I, you know, I guess, streamline things? Where can I make sure that I'm really doing things for the benefit of the client, not too much, not too little, and just seeing how other people do things. So, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, nice to have someone who's done it, and then you're just like, okay, sweet. And it's applied.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yay! I'm so excited. Okay, well, thank you so much. And yeah, if I think of anything else, I'll definitely reach out. But
reach out because I'll be scheduling more stuff.